We at the Swedish shipping podcast Fartygspodden recently had the opportunity to visit the Fincantieri shipyard in Monfalcone, Italy, and TUI Cruises' new vessel Mein Schiff Flow, currently under construction. She will enter service in the summer of 2026. On our way to the yard, we had the chance to interview Wybcke Meier, CEO of TUI Cruises, who told us more about this interesting project.
It's the second vessel of our new Intuition class. We started the first expansion phase of TUI Cruises with Mein Schiff in 2014. And all the ships we built there from number 1 to number 7 were built at Meier Yard in Turku. When we found out that the demand for cruises in Germany is so high, so we are mainly catering to the German market, German source market, we wanted to continue our new builds, and we found out back then that Meier Turku hadn't had any availability, so we called the other yards, and you might know that there's only a few yards. And it's a truly European business because 97% of all ships are being built in Europe, of cruise ships. So it was Italy who said, yeah, we might have availability, and we started the journey to build a new class of ships back then in 2018. And we were a bit disappointed about it. Does it take so long to get more ships and new ships? And it was the case, but we took the time, and we had that gave us also the opportunity to build a totally new class of ship. And a lot of what made Mein Schiff so successful in the early years, of course, were pillars for the new build, such as balcony cabins. We have long and small ships, so for our customers it's super important to have a balcony cabin, and on all the ships we have minimum 80%, and here on this new class of ship we have 85% of balcony cabins. And that was one of the pillars which was set, and the other was to have very gracious open decks, and also a little bit concept-wise, because we are offering an all-inclusive concept. All-inclusive means once you go on board, you can have a wide range of restaurants is available and bars, and everything is already included, except some specialty restaurants, or if you want to have champagne every night, this comes at an extra cost. But the basics are included, also a large area for fitness and spa, and the access to all that is part of the so-called TUI Cruises well-being concept. And these things were pretty clear we wanted to continue. So I would say on Intuition class we have, and this is mainly driven by the concept, we have something like in the range of 70% known features from the ships 1 to 7. So the well-being concept plus 30% innovation and different and a different ship experience. And we also thought through what can we do size-wise. We enlarged the ship a little bit, and we have, but we stay under 4,000 lower berths. So this was also a key driver, mainly driven by the dimensions of the ship. Because we wanted to give great, also we didn't want to compromise on variety of ports we can call, and that was another important thing. So we ended up in a length of 333 meters, and we can accommodate roughly 2,000 cabins, and we also implemented single cabins and also single balcony cabins. So all that flew into the concept. And another important thing was when we really had the chance here to sit and start at a blank piece of paper with great naval architects from Royal Caribbean and also from naval architectural companies, that what can we do to open up the ship a bit more also on the lower decks? Can we make more? Can we get more daylight into the ship? So, and at a large vessel, it's quite a task to build windows, because it's not a real estate, but it's not moving. So we had the collaboration of architects, and Fincantieri was so great. You're going to see it. We managed to have really in the reception area, very big windows, and also we have almost 270 degrees in the aft of the ship, where we have on 2 decks our restaurant, Atlantic restaurant, where breakfast, lunch and dinner is served and everything is included. So providing a very relaxing atmosphere.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Really cool. Nice to hear that you want to have the light in the vessel in a new way there. I like that. If you're a guest and coming to this vessel and have been cruising with other Mein Schiff vessels, do you want to recognize yourself, or is it completely new?
Some things you definitely recognize, especially the Atlantic restaurant. It's a little bit more located in the aft, and you also find other restaurants or bars which are very popular. But in the end, it's a new class of ship, and guests who know the other ships feel a bit disoriented in the beginning, because you always this is very human. You always compare. But if you drop that and say, okay, let the ship. This is a new ship. I'm just going to get into it and see where the flow drives me. Then it works perfectly. Yeah. And we also put a lot of effort. So we have a more decentralized concept that you can have that you can accommodate different customer groups or groups with different interests, and we also worked with neighborhoods in order to make the ship really an intuitive experience. And so we have one area where we allocated all the entertainment venues, and then we have one which is more active. This is on the upper decks, where we have a large. This is also a pillar we have on the first 7 ships, big venues where we offer sports and activities. The spa area also is as big as it is, or it has been grown according to size of the vessel. But in the end, with different neighborhoods. It's a new experience. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. Cool. If we look at it from a Swedish point of view, you have the Tillberg design you're working with.
We have a lot, and Tillberg was from day one on. Tillberg was part of the group of naval architects and design companies, and as always, they did a great job, and all this bringing that daylight into the ship. This is something really where we work very hard, and Tillberg was an essential part of that.
So which parts of the vessel are they involved in?
They worked in the transitions, and they designed the reception area where we have these big windows. So
that's cool, really
and
amazing.
Also all the cabins.
All the cabins as well,
except the suites. The suites were done by another German design company. But in the cabins, we had some learnings from 1 to 7, because I think our cabins are very well organized and rather big compared to other cruise companies, as they all have a balcony. And Tillberg found a very good way to make the bed units, the bathrooms, a little bigger, so the shower is a little bigger than on the other ships.
This vessel Flow, is it identical to Relax?
It's almost identical. Here and there, of course, when you have the very first ship of a new class, which is Mein Schiff Relax, and she has been sailing now since April. Of course, here and there you find things you're gonna improve, but these are all little things. But basically, it's a twin system.
Oh yeah, cool, interesting. Yeah. But as you told us earlier here, these 2 vessels are the first that you build here at Fincantieri. Before that, you've built in Meier in Finland. How is it to build at a new yard?
It's as everything which is new comes with a lot of excitement. Sometimes you need a little longer to understand different ways of working, but in the end, I mean, the product is clear, and you have experts in Finland, you have experts here, and the processes are a little different, but in the end, they are so professional, and it is great to build ships here in Italy as well. Nice. But it also was in Finland, so in the end, I don't see a big difference.
Exactly. But this is interesting, since you, as a cruise shipping company, there is not so many shipyards. how is it? Is it hard to find those slots, or how do you have to point out, or how do you work?
Definitely it is. I mean, when we started with the expansion of the Mein Schiff fleet, it was easier because a little easier because the Mein Schiff 3 was the first one we built. Is a little confusing with our numbering. The Mein Schiff 3 was launched in 2014 and was the first new build of the so-called Blue Motion class. And back then, Turku was the early days of when Meier got involved in Turku, and we also in 14-15 we decided to build more ships, and that was necessary. And when we then found out that we even would like to go on, we of course wouldn't have gone to look for a new shipyard, but Meier yard was fully booked, the order books were full, and then we reached out to the others, and it's super limited, and today it is even more limited.